Okay, so I decided to make a video today about when to recognize that you are stepping into your God-given abilities, that you've been initiated into Christ consciousness, um, or to know when you've like depleted or defeated the ego and the personality. So, with that being said, I think one of the biggest catalysts to our spiritual growth or our spiritual demise is astrology. I, of course, love it. Mm. I am, I once was a very proud Capricorn. Um, I mean, of course, I still am. I still love the fact of the placement where I came into because it still has a lot to do with where I got to today. All right, so basically, what I'm saying with as far as it being like detrimental or beneficial, depends on how it's utilized, is like you have like the people that just don't believe in it at all, which it's like that's kind of silly because it's kind of like, oh, the teacher giving you a pop a pop quiz, but is allowing you to use a cheat sheet just because you don't believe that the teacher is allowing you to use the cheat sheet, or you don't believe the cheat sheet is real, doesn't mean that it's not real. It just means that you chose not to use it to your ability and probably failed the test, unless you're extremely gifted in this case, and came in remembering your past lives and all that. So anywho, it like just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it's not real. That's for one. And then you have the other side of it for the people that like use it more than just a guidebook and a blueprint and make it their whole personality. Because at the end of the day, the point is to get outside of the personality and the ego. So if you're, you know, hung up on, oh, I am this way because of whatever zodiac sign you are, that's just making an excuse to not take accountability, to recognize an area of development and actually change that for the greater good of yourself and the greater good of others. So it's like a few ways to tell that you've been initiated into Christ consciousness as well. For one, when you're aware that you create your reality, like, I mean, you hear that shit all the time. I've been hearing it for the past decade. It wasn't until a few months ago when I came across Florence Scovel Shin, who then took me to Neville Goddard, who then took me to Abdullah. And I've listened to many, many people, like many, many people. One of the present day philosophers, great teacher of the mystical arts, I feel, is Seven Bomar. And he broke stuff down on so many like different levels. It brought me into a place of awareness that might have taken me decades to get to, maybe lifetimes, I don't know. But even with all of that information and everything of that nature, none of that hit me or processed, because you know how it is when you get information. It's like sometimes it hits you different. Every time I listen to a video, I get something new from it, or I read a book, I get something new from it. So it wasn't until the beautiful writings of The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shin that I realized what Christ consciousness is. And wouldn't you believe that this all registered, this download all came into me at the age of 33. We know how powerful it is. And, Freemasonry, religion, like it's a great number. Great number of enlightenment. So, anyways, once you are initiated, it's not like, I mean, I don't know how everybody else's initiation was, but like I said, mine was just listening to an audiobook and it just clicking. Like, okay, I heard y'all for the past decade say law of attraction, you know, all of that. I heard y'all talking about that. I got you, but it just now processed what you actually mean. So once you're aware that you have the ability to either just get by and survive or create, and you know that you're creating all this, what you look like not taking accountability for your creation. Who you gonna run to? Who can you complain to? You're not gonna, the chances are at the beginning, you don't have that many people physically around you who truly understand what Christ consciousness is. And I mean, I got some hitters around me. I got some spiritual, some people that went through some spiritual shit. I'm talking some shit that, you know, is in books and they still don't know what it is. So it's like, you might be in this shit by yourself when it first comes to your awareness that, oh my God, like I've been saying I was a God for a long time now, but now I know. And it's like, the work I've been doing in the background for the past like year or so, when it came to like money and things like that, I just changed my perception on how I viewed money and all of that. And it money situation changed for me, like as far as living paycheck to paycheck, stretching $20, thinking you're gonna be broke, like putting yourself in a broke state of mind, put you in a broke state of reality. So it's just kind of like, we'll get back to that. So back to the Christ consciousness. It's like, your thoughts create your reality. So if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna be like, damn, you know, I'm always late for work, you're gonna be always late for work. If you're a person that's like, oh, I'm always on time, that person's probably gonna always be on time. I say it that simply because it literally is that simple. Like, I'll give you some examples. So there's an individual in my life who is not aware of this Christ consciousness. Like, they're aware, like I was 15 years ago, that, you know, I because I be telling her like, oh, you gotta be positive, you know, you gotta be aware of your thoughts, your energy. She knows, like she's double placement Aries in her chart. She has a lot of aggression, just off the rip of where she came into this earth from. So it's like, when you have individuals who aren't really aware, like they hear you but they don't know, you know, how to apply this shit, they don't know how to truly digest it and understand it, you start to learn empathy and come from a place of compassion. It's like, yeah, it's I had a lot of bumps with this person, before I came into this own awareness. So it's like, once I came into this, I started to stop internalizing things and personalizing things and having empathy for those around me, and start to actually create better situations and scenarios and experiences that I can have with the individuals that are in my house and that I deal with, on a regular basis. So anyways, this individual might, well, every time, like, we're in the car driving, there's always a road rage incident. Like, she's always getting mad about something, and she'll always say, I hate people. I hate people. I just want to get away from here. I hate people. It will be like stuff like, that she pretty much is just internalizing. Because at the end of the day, like, me personally, when somebody cuts me off, I think thoughts of, you know, maybe they're having a bad day, maybe something's happening, they're on the way to, something, an emergency, something of that nature. I just don't internalize it, because if you internalize it, it's like you're just going off of one perspective, and it's like you're just like, out of all the things that could be going on in the world, you're choosing that they are purposely doing that to you, which then in return makes you feel mad and upset about the fact. And now you're in that place of, oh, this person is a complete asshole, because you just created a whole scenario in your head, and that scenario feels real, and you keep attracting more of those scenarios. So every time we're together, it's always an issue. I don't, I rarely experience road rage. I don't actually experience road rage at all, because it's like a situation, as far as it goes on my end, if it's like a situation, I don't personalize or internalize it, and it's, so I don't have those experiences. But if she would dial it back, and instead of saying I hate people or internalizing it, each time she has an experience like that, decides to look at it from a different perspective, then it's a personal attack, and show empathy, compassion, and love to this individual, she's going to start, those experiences are going to become less, and she's going to have more experiences of a peaceful trip on the road. And it's like, to know that our thoughts are so powerful that they actually can change this matter around in this 3D realm, and to not want to be happy is wild. Like, that shit is wild magnolia. Like, we have the ability to have a thought about a thought. Shout out Dr. Joe Dispenza. We have the ability to have a thought about a thought. So if we just have this thought and we're thinking negative, or we're in a place of doubt, fear, envy, jealousy, anger, we're in a place where all that stuff dwells, and we know that we're thinking like that, we not only are thinking something in that's dwelling in that space, but we're aware of it now. So you can't cancel out that thought and start thinking about something that's going to actually benefit you. And it's like a lot of things that we tend to hold on to are things that already happened, and that it's done and over with. It's a new day. So it's like, you can hold on to things in your past, or you can look forward to things in your future. In the present moment, it's all we got is right now. If you're able to tap into this moment right now, are you going to choose to tap into this moment and do things that aren't beneficial to the future that you want? Like, why would you stay in a place dwelling or doing the same things that got you to the place that you are now? You would think, like, I need to do something new, right? Like, I need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what we've been doing and change that all up, because what we've been doing ain't getting me where I want to go. So if you sitting around moping and being negative and being pessimistic about life, what's the first thing you can do when you go to the drawing board? Okay, I'm being pessimistic about my life. Let me be optimistic. Oop, boop, change. But no. Why is that so hard for people? Because of accountability. People have to take accountability for the way that their life's been going. So that's where you have a lot of people falling into, like, depression, stress, anger, irritation. They, self-medicate, or they run to religion and things of that nature, because it's like, oh yeah, there's a big imaginary guy in the sky who's keeping note of everything that I do, and I hope and pray I get into heaven. But in reality, they ain't really doing shit to get into heaven. But it's easier for them to be able to go get their sins washed away than take accountability for their actions, or put the like, oh, I God got me. Yeah, God got us all. You know, she has us all. Like, however you look at God, the universe, the cosmos, however you look at it, whatever your relationship is with it, it's like, it's you. So when those times when it's like you do something fucked up, and you may try to act like you didn't do something fucked up, and you may come off to everybody else like, yeah, such and such, yeah, fuck that bitch, I did da 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 because she did da 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 and whatever, I don't give a fuck. But in the back of your mind, like, that was some hoe ass shit. That's God. That's God talking. And when you choose to bury that shit down and keep burying shit down because you don't want to take accountability for your actions, you create more scenarios for that. You continue on the karmic wheel. It's like, be real with yourself, stand in your truth, stand up in their chest and let them know, listen, I did the groundwork. I took accountability for my actions. They don't like that. They don't like that. I've been taking accountability for my actions for years. So it's like people, because you can't argue with that. Like, oh, okay, yeah, you admitting you're wrong, that doesn't make it right. Yeah, I know, I gotta change my behavior though. At this point, because if I continue to just take accountability and not change my behavior, then it's an issue. But then when you do start to change your behavior, they don't like that either, because it's not going the way. They can't get that energy about you. It's not even being like gray rocking or passive aggressiveness. It's just you found a loophole. Let me apply it. When you don't want to continue to, when you want to continue to stand in your truth and take accountability for yourselves, but you have individuals around you who are failing to take accountability for themselves, the most you can do when you get into this reality is when you start setting intentions to get out of that, when you start setting intentions and bringing awareness to how you want your day to unfold, how you want your week, how you want your month, like being goal oriented, like placing goals, cool. Set intentions. Set up your visions. You know what I mean? Like it's like the goal, saying goals is cool, but set your intentions, set up your visions. So you do this shit on a daily basis. Say you deal with somebody who is pessimistic as fuck, don't take accountability for their actions, da 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 da. Set a scene. Set a scenario, right? Set a scene and set a scenario of, like, not projecting it. Like, don't look at it from a place in space. You got to be feeling it right now. So it's like, you got to feel that, you're in this body right here, right now. The person is like sitting across from you. There's a whole situation, and this person is just, from what they normally do, total opposite, and taking accountability for their actions. You hear them tell you, I did A, B, and C. My behavior is going to be changed. You hear the whole conversation, right? Do that for a couple nights before you fall asleep, because it's like, you got to get into that place of, like, awake and unconscious, basically. Fully conscious and unconscious. Get right in between that area. Think about that. And then if you want, you can, fall into your deep sleep. But watch how, probably quickly too, because most times events and things happen at a quicker pace than trying to manifest material things. So it's like, you have a vision and you see that person is taking accountability for their actions. This person is, is just doing what they got to do, right? Or doing the things that you wish to see them as. That's going to change in this person's reality. That's going to change for your reality. Your perspective of that person is changing. You're creating that. That's going to go into that person's perspective as well. The only way it's not going to as if that person is very much aware of their free will, which means that they're you know they're a big stepper. They're walking in they shit just like you walking in they shit. And hey, I choose to be like this. A lot of them ain't choosing. A lot of them are just a lot of people are just maneuvering. Maneuvering through like sheep. They have no idea about the power of our consciousness and the things that we're able to do. So it's like if you're going to do something, you do it for the greater good. You don't do it to benefit yourself or to harm others or anything of that nature. And some people don't even like dabbling into it at all because they feel like, okay, you have free will. So instead of setting a scenario of that nature, you can, when you speak out your affirmations, or when you advise the universe your next move, you can also let them know, you can also let it be known to remove anyone that does not serve you purpose, like anyone that doesn't benefit you, anyone that doesn't bring you peace, joy, and happiness, or if you don't want to say remove, continue to thank the universe, God, Yahweh, Jesus, whoever you look into. Remember to give thanks for the experience of happiness, joyfulness, love, you know, compassion. And you won't have those people around you. So it's like you can do it many different ways. You can go about it many different ways when you step into creation and you realize that you're a creator. I just create scenarios of peace, love, and happiness, prosperity, abundance. I speak shit like I know that of course I get whatever I want. There's more than enough available to me. I've seen this chick say that on a video and I've been rocking with it for a while. I have it. There's been times I've been very pessimistic, but my nature, I'm a pretty happy person, happy-go-lucky person. Um, we can, be products of our environment, but there's a point in time where we have to start taking accountability for who we are and our actions. And a major way is to deplete and defeat your personality and your ego. So if you're able to step outside of those things and like I was saying earlier at the beginning of the video, use astrology as a tool and a guidebook. Don't plant your roots into it and this is who I am, because it's going to hold you back. We are many things. We are souls and a human body. We came into these shells at a certain time and placement of the planet, so we have certain characteristic traits and certain minerals and certain things in our bodies that even have us feeling the way that we feel, and have just our nodes can be completely like out of whack just on the way the placement that you're born. Could go off of that alone with your minerals and shit like that you may be lacking or you may have more of, or whatever the case may be. But when you start to understand who you are and you start to heal yourself, and you want to start to get past any addictions and things of that nature and just be the best version of yourself, you start to realize that, okay, yeah, I do have a lot of characteristic traits like this. Let me use them to benefit me, but not to hold me back, not to hinder me from my growth and my progress. So if it's like, okay, me as a Capricorn, I'm very logical, I'm very responsible, I'm very grounded. It's like I can use those things to my benefit, but at the same time, I can't let it hold me back. I can't use that as a reason why I express myself the way I do, or dismiss people who are more free spirited or things of that nature. It's like, learn from it so you can balance out every aspect of it. Like, because if you start to hold on to a perspective for too long, you gain an emotional attachment to that perspective. Once you gain an emotional attachment and you keep holding on to things, eventually it becomes like a personality trait over time. So it's just, use it to your advantage. Use astrology to your advantage. Don't let it control you. Don't let it hold you back from your spiritual growth, and don't allow it to bring you down in your spiritual growth either. But that's basically it for today. I'm not gonna keep the video too long. Hope you enjoy. I hope that it's helpful. You get something out of it. It's kind of wasn't pre-planned or anything. So again, if I'm all over the place, that's just how I am. But peace and love, and till next time.